Okay, guys, welcome to our all call. Thanks for joining me and our team tonight. And I'm going to hand it over to Wes for a quick winner for our early bird drawing for those of you who are on at the start of the call.
Hey guys, as Brooke said, my name is Wes or Wesley, and I am the prize master tonight. So I'm going to give away some awesome prizes. The first prize is a $15 Target gift card. Who doesn't love Target? And our winner is Sarah. So Sarah, if you could message Brooke on Facebook Messenger, she's Brooke Knitz, and give her your address or email address, and we'll get that to you. Be sure to be commenting if this is your first call in the chat, and also be commenting with the number of guests that you have on if you are a current ambassador.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so Wes is our prize master, Wesley. And so she's going, we want to be really nice to her. She's going to be the one who's going to be picking prizes. And like she said, you're going to message me information so I can be sure to make sure those prizes get to you. And without further ado, so like Wes said, continue to mute yourself when you hop on. If we can't keep you muted, it kind of gets distracting and we have to kick you off, and we don't want to do that. That would break our heart. So keep yourself muted and be sure to put in the comments if this is your first time ever on a call with us. And also, like Wes said, put in the comments if you have, 4 guests on the call or 3 guests on the call, however many you have, please put that in there so we can add that in for prizes later. And I'm going to pass the baton to Laura, and she's going to share a little bit of her story with us.
Hi, thanks, Brooke. Yes, my name is Laura Hubler, and I am a music teacher, an elementary music teacher. I am married, and I have 2 kids. And I first started and reached out to my sponsor about Plexus because I was very jealous of all of the energy she was bragging about. She was totally bragging. And my kids at the time, I had a newborn or a 6-month-old and an almost 3-year-old. And they took turns getting up every other hour, literally, and then I had to go to work the next day. So needless to say, I didn't feel like I was an effective teacher. I didn't feel like I was an effective mom. I didn't feel like I was the best wife that I could be. We ate a lot of fast food and frozen food, and that wasn't healthy for us either. So I reached out, and then regretfully I waited another 6 months because I thought I needed to be done breastfeeding when it could have been helping me with my milk supply, because I was struggling with that too. When you're tired, you don't supply enough as much as you want to. So I finally reached out, and I ordered when my daughter was a year old. I let it sit on my counter for another 2 weeks before I finally started. And thankfully, I noticed a difference after 10 days. And I was sold, and I was happier because I wasn't grumpy and tired, and I was no longer living on my couch, and I was getting better sleep. I noticed that as well. And then something else I started to notice was I was no longer having abdominal pain. I had my gallbladder out at the age of 24. Took them 2 years to figure out what was wrong with me because I was too young. And so I had abdominal pain after I ate 30 minutes like clockwork every day. And so it wasn't until I was on my product for 3 months that I noticed that I wasn't having that pain as often anymore, which has been awesome because I digested my food too fast. And I really do think that the ProBio 5 has really helped with breaking my food down like it needs to be broken down before finishing passing through my system. So I have really been thankful, and I'm sold, and I'm going to be a Plexus for life. And but another thing I would like to share is I do have my kids and my family on these products as well. It's been a game changer for my son because he is high anxiety and does not like change. I'm not saying that he's perfect now by any means, but he doesn't cry when I drop him off for school, places that he's comfortable with. Or he used to cry with me just dropping him off at his grandparents' house. He'd be like, "You'd come pick me up, right?" And I said, "Yes, honey, we'll be back." But now he gets excited for those things, and it's just been a blessing to have that not be an issue anymore. Also, my daughter, she broke out with eczema really early. So she started products at a year, and she maybe more 14 months, but she did start with Probio 5 as well, really early in her applesauce. And she still has eczema, but it's not as inflamed, and she's a lot more comfortable, and she's not scratching like she used to. So, business, I have been working this business effectively and smartly for about a year now, and I am loving it and working it in the nooks and crannies. If you can't tell, I'm doing this from my car. But I love it, and I didn't realize I was as goal oriented as I was, but I'm finding this new person inside me, and I love it. And this community that comes with Plexus is just over the top. They're so generous and giving, and there's just, if you're looking for a community of people to support you, this is a really good place to be. So I hope that you enjoy tonight, and thank you, Brooke, for asking me to share.
You bet. Thank you, lady. I appreciate it. Man, start talking about kids and anxiety, and you're going to watch me cry like ugly, ugly cry. Okay, so we're going to pass the baton now to Amberly, and she's going to share a little bit about her story.
Okay, so hi everyone. If I get through this without crying, it'll be wonderful. But anyway, my story, Plexus has helped me more than just a few things. It has changed my life. The two top, I would say, would be my anxiety and depression. For the first time in my life, I have nails, and that is just recently. It is just the weirdest thing. But I have this fond memory of in my car when I was in elementary school, leaving and chewing off every single fingernail. And I think that was the first time I felt that anxiety come over me. So for me to have nails right now is amazing, and I'm loving it. But my depression was a huge damper for me and my family. I still struggle sometimes. We always have our ups and downs, but I would come home, and because I didn't have a lot of energy, the depression, anxiety, I would come home and have to sleep before I could cook dinner for my family. I would take a nap, do that, and then I couldn't wait to get back in bed. I mean, that's how I lived my life. I got up thinking I cannot wait to get back in bed again, which is really sad. So, and it kind of started with, because I went to see Angie, a nutritionist and a friend of mine, and she put me on probiotics, the Probio 5. And within a couple of days, my stomach felt amazing. I have never had my stomach feel not bloated. Constipation was awful for me. I'd go days, maybe a week. It was awful. And I saw her posting about the energy thing. I was feeling better, but I still, the energy still wasn't there. So I signed up, tried the Triplex, and it changed my life. And also, for me to, I don't know, I've come out of my shell a lot also. I think because of that, anxiety's not there anymore. The depression is, I would say, at the best I've ever been. And this group of women have just made me who I've always wanted to be, I think. And for me to be able to even be on this call and talk is a huge deal for me every time. So that's kind of my story. There's a lot more I could go on and on, but that's basically the root of it.
Thank you, Miss Amberly. I'm going to go ahead and give that credit back to you. We didn't make you that. You were in there all along. So I can say that gut health and God opened that up, but we don't get the credit. We just get the front row seat, which is pretty stinking awesome. Now I'm going to cry again. Okay, so I skipped Wes. And so on that note, Wes and I are both criers. Wes is going to share a little bit about her story. This is a safe community to show all the emotions, I promise you.
I'm really going to try not to cry. And you can probably hear my dog. She's like coughing up a hairball or something. So sorry about that. Okay, so I am a boy mom to 3. I am a pharmacist. I am married to a teacher, track coach. And when Plexus came into my life, I just thought it was a normal part of being a mom to be exhausted all the time and just be miserable. My main concern when I started Plexus, or my main goal, the dog is making weird noises. My main goal was to get rid of my abdominal pain. I had this severe abdominal pain that made it so that I couldn't eat. I basically had a liquid diet and I was wasting away. I was already underweight before all of that happened, and I just kept losing weight. And I went to all these specialists. I had all these tests run. They just couldn't, they said I had IBS, but they just couldn't, nothing that they did made anything better. And I think the last straw was when I went to the GI specialist, and I was still losing weight. I was going number 2, I'd go sometimes up to 2 weeks between bowel movements. I was miserable. My abdominal pain was no better. And the GI specialist said, okay, see you in 6 months. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't live like this for 6 more months. So I saw my friend Brooke, who you've heard from tonight, sharing about Plexus on Facebook. And my husband has known her forever. And he was like, have you thought about giving it a try? So we did it. And you guys, I've never looked back. My abdominal pain was slow to improve, but it improved. And I got back to a healthy weight, which allowed me to have baby number 3. And I had the healthiest pregnancy I've had. And without high blood pressure, which is something I dealt with before Plexus, and have not been on high blood pressure meds for close to 3 years now. No constipation during my pregnancy, none of that extreme exhaustion that you get. No issues with milk supply. I'm telling you that, the balanced hormones that come with balanced blood sugars are a beautiful, beautiful thing. Besides that, I dealt with migraines for 20 years before Plexus, and I have now been 3 years without those. I used to have almost a daily headache, and those happen maybe once every 2 months. My life has completely drastically changed. I am living my life now instead of, wishing for nap time, wishing for bedtime, kind of like Amberly said, I just wanted to be in bed all the time because I was so tired and miserable. So that's what it's done for me health-wise. As far as the business goes, I had no intention of ever telling anybody about this because my pride was in the way. But when I started feeling better, I felt selfish not sharing with people. So I started to share, and this business has blessed me so, so much, paying down debt, and I already work less hours than I did before Plexus. And in June, I will be realizing my dream of being a stay-at-home mom, because my Plexus income is surpassing my pharmacist income, which is mind-blowing. And it has never been about the money for me, but when you're the primary breadwinner, it has to kind of a little bit be about the money, right? It wouldn't be possible for me to stay home without this business. So I can't even begin to tell you how much it's blessed me. And it was totally an accidental thing. It was totally not something I had planned on at all. So that is a little bit of my story. I could go on and on and on because it's just been so life-changing. But I am going to go ahead and tell you guys that the first timer winner, I totally lost okay, there it is. The first timer winner is Susan. So Susan, you will get $15 off your next order, or your first order, whichever. I'm not sure which Susan it is that's on, but Susan, you get $15 off your next order. So message Brooke to let her know that you are the winner.
Yay. Thank you, Miss West. And congrats, Susan. That's exciting. We all love our Plexus products and we love saving money on them. So that makes it even better. All right. I'm going to pass to Leslie, who's going to share a little bit about her story with us. So take it away, Leslie.
Well, hello there, everyone. Hope everybody can hear me okay. Okay, so I am a wife and I am a mom of 5, and I'm not a mom of 5 littles. I'm a mom of 5 teenagers. And if anyone knows, they're 2 creatures of their own, and they all run you at the same pace, just in different times in your life. And we run at an ungodly pace. I have basketball players, soccer players, softball players, baseball players, volleyball players. We do it all. In fact, I just got home from a track meet. So we run year round. So when Plexus came into my life, let's just say I was living life, but I was running at a sprint pace and I was tired. There's no better way to describe it other than my cup was completely empty and I had nothing left at the end of every day. I am a paralegal by trade. So from 8 to 5, I work in the legal world, and then I come home and I do the mom stuff. Life never slowed down, still doesn't ever slow down, but I was looking for a way to get through my day without 100 ounces of Pepsi and or coffee when Plexus came into my world. And I can tell you that I can now get through my day without craving a nap. I can start my day without a large Pepsi and coffee. I would walk out of Casey's with both because I had to let my coffee cool down, so I drank the Pepsi first. And I never thought that was possible. That's just the way I was raised. You woke up, you went after caffeine every morning. So for me to be able to keep up with my kids is a miracle in and of itself. But the second part of my story is dealing with pain. Me and my children I always have to calculate this, 12 years ago, were involved in a major car accident involving a semi-truck and a trailer. And we were lucky to survive. I suffered from obviously whiplash, but also a fractured pelvic bone. And so I've dealt with chronic back pain and neck pain and migraines since, almost daily, to a point where I was no longer able to work out. I had to give up softball, which I love to play. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go to the gym and work out. I mean, there was nothing. And I no longer take ibuprofen. In fact, I think there's only like half a bottle in my pantry, and it's been there for months. My daughter is suffering right now, she is suffering from a possible fracture of her L5 vertebrae, and she is getting through her day on Ease only. She is not taking any other pain meds, no narcotics, nothing. And so for that, I am blessed because she's not walking around here like a crazy person on drugs. But the pain relief and the lower inflammation that comes from these products is life-changing. I can now work out again. I'm working myself up to being able to run a 5K. Never been a runner. But I can tell you that my body feels so good that I forget my own limits. So I tend to overdo and forget that I'm not 16 anymore. Couple of other things for me is that this business is making it a reality that I'm going to be able to travel. I had kids very early, so I didn't go to college. I did not get an opportunity to go on spring break. I didn't have an opportunity to take trips. Midwest was all I had ever seen. And so this business is making my dream of travel a reality. And I love that I don't have to be in the medical field to be able to do this. I don't have to have that background. I can be a normal person on the street and be successful. So I have a lot of other things. Obviously, I'm sure you've heard that from all of us. There's so many other things that we could touch on, but those are the biggies for me. Anyway, I think that's it.
Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate that. That's amazing that she's getting through that on just ease. I mean, we know ease works, but that's amazing. So I introduced myself earlier, but my name is Brooke Knitz, and I'm a Sapphire Ambassador. And I cannot believe that I joined Plexus 4 years ago tomorrow. Like, it's blowing my mind. It has all week that tomorrow is the day 4 years ago that literally would change my life. I couldn't at that time even imagine spending $100 on myself, and I had to talk myself into joining for the cheapest prices because I'm the cheapest person that I know. And my husband said, seriously, like, look what you're putting in your body every day. Like, it's got to be better than that stuff, because I was just chugging Diet Coke, and I was waking up and wishing for a nap, and I was a momster, and I was eating rows of Oreos and any other candy I could find where I could stash the wrappers in the trash can in my office so people wouldn't see me, all while I told patients, because I'm a nurse practitioner, you don't do that. You don't eat that much sugar, and you do good things and exercise. And like, I couldn't exercise. I was dragging. I was living off Diet Coke and sugar, and like, do as I say, not as I do. So I find myself sticking to a lot of M words on accident. Like, I was a momster. I had a muffin top. All these things that I didn't like. I had crazy anxiety. I was ashamed 90% of the time because I didn't like my skin. I was ashamed all the time because I was a raging momster to my kids behind closed doors, and I just didn't have the energy to give them my best. I didn't know what my best was. I didn't. My best was, like, I thought the day that I got up and went to work and, like, you know, kept everybody alive and fed them something semi-healthy. I mean, I wasn't living, you guys. I wasn't living. Looking back, I don't even know what you call that, but I'll never allow that woman back in my house. I'll never, ever behave like that. And if I have a bad week or a bad few days and I'm like just out of sorts for some reason, because real life happens, like Amberly said, you know, when you have anxiety or you have those things, when self-care is not a priority and you're lacking on sleep, poor nutrition, hydration, you've been sick, any of those things, stress comes your way. Some of that stuff rears its ugly head like anxiety. My kids will look at me and go, what is your problem, Mom? Why are you acting like that? Because they know that that's not normal for me. My kids 4 years ago would have never asked that question because it was that was what they saw every day, which is really ugly and really sad, but it's really the gosh darn truth. It's really the truth. So I clicked join. I said I wouldn't share this stuff. I wasn't going to tell anybody. I was just going to take these products every stinking day because as a nurse practitioner, how can I tell you it doesn't work if I didn't follow all the instructions and take them every single day? So I took all my stuff. I did all the things and was certain that there was no way this crazy gut health stuff sold on the internet was going to be worth a gosh darn thing. And 2 or 3 days in, I found myself emptying the dishwasher and changing the load of laundry over instead of rewashing it for the 14th time so it didn't stink again because I was too lazy again because I collapsed again, probably after yelling at my kids. And I just couldn't, I had no gas left in the tank at the end of the day. So I just noticed I had a little bit more. I didn't need my morning Diet Coke. I wasn't quite guzzling under the spigot at lunchtime. Like I could live on a little bit less. I wasn't scavenging for that candy jar that the drug reps brought of all the good stuff that I would go find and hide in my desk. I was just feeling like I didn't need those things. I remember the first day that my boss was irritating me and all of a sudden I felt this rise up in my chest and it just stopped. And I thought, okay, I don't want to kill him. This is pretty good. Like, I don't want to run and hide. I don't want to crawl out of my skin. What is that? Never experienced that before. I had never known what it was like to actually have control over my emotions ever in my life, ever. Like Amberly, I bit my fingernails off till there was nothing left. So anyway, to say my life has drastically changed is an understatement. I'm no longer a momster. In fact, my kids call me out and say, what is your problem when I act like a crazy person? I no longer live off sugar. I haven't had a Diet Coke in almost 4 years. I don't nap hardly ever. In fact, when I do, I'm like, gosh, what is wrong with me? I'm so lazy. Once in a while, your body tells you need sleep and it's okay. But I literally take like 2 naps a year. I sleep great. I feel good. And even though I said I'd never share, I couldn't help but share because I share everything that I love. And I felt like I had this $1 million secret. I felt like $1,000,000, and I couldn't not tell other moms who clearly were faking it because they acted like they were having fun at the park, and I knew that they weren't because I wasn't. So I'm like, you guys need what I got, and I'm going to share with you. So I shared about Plexus, and I didn't know that so many people would relate to my story and would relate to my kid's story of anxiety and focus and mood issues and anger issues with my littles and my husband's acid reflux and all those things. I didn't know. But what I did realize is that there's so many people out there silently suffering who are not sharing their stories, and they need what we have. And so me sharing eventually, like Wes talked about, it replaced my nurse practitioner income. This June I'll be 2 years full-time stay at home. I do a little bit of contract work because I want to, not because I have to, because it's fun signing my name with those initials behind it once in a while because I earned them. But I do that because I want to, not because I have to. I get to be a mom who does all the things in my yoga pants. I call the shots. I work with my ball cap on. I do all those things because Plexus has allowed me to do that. Which is a dream come true that I never, ever, ever imagined possible. So, 4 years ago tomorrow, my life drastically changed, and I will never, ever go back to that lady. She's never allowed in my house. She's not allowed around my kids, around my husband. I have like a restraining order against that crazy bee. She's not allowed in my home. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I could go on and on, but that's the gist of my story. And I'm going to pass it back to Wes one more time for our later Gator prize for all of you who have stuck with us and listened this evening.
I love your story. I love it. Okay, so the later Gator winner is Candy, and you are going to get a $15 Amazon gift card. So just send a Facebook message to Brooke so that we make sure that gets to you. That's it, I think.
Yay, awesome. Congrats, Candy. Okay, guys, thanks for sticking with us. Thank you, all you brave ladies who were awesome to get on here and share some of your real life stories with us. And that's all we have for you guys. So thanks for joining us, and have an amazing weekend with your families. Mwah.